Well, hello there. You probably noticed that I'm not Diane. But if you're looking for her, she's out of town, so I'm the next best thing. I'm her husband. I've got her script, so instead of missing 2 weeks, I'm going to pretend to be her. In all honesty, as a man watching Bachelor in Paradise, I've got some juicy things to add to the conversation. Who knows? If you like me, maybe now you will subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button too.
Welcome to Reality TV Therapy with me, Dr. Diane.
Welcome back. 2 storylines are worth exploring in this video. The situation with Eliza and Rodney, and the one between Genevieve and Aaron. Both stories have gotten a buzz in the Bachelor Nation. And if you don't follow my wife on Instagram, the Back to Love Doc, please follow her page, and she has a few posts up about both these topics. Before I dig deep into these 2 storylines, as a viewer, one must always remember that production puts the cast through a lot of stress. And in these episodes, it also looks like there was also some heavy drinking. Are these people really sober having these conversations? But the word of the night for me is toxic. Do you agree? Let's start with Eliza and Rodney, where Justin comes back to the beach. Sure, Eliza is flattered. She's a new girl, and like any young 26-year-old, who doesn't like 2 men fighting over them? But here's where Eliza's interaction with Rodney falls apart. Eliza has already made up her mind. She tells Justin that she's flattered, that she's been curious about him, and said, yes, I'll go on a date with you. But as a formality, she talks to Rodney, and this is what most people do. But I don't see a problem with how Rodney handled this. Do you? Let me know in the comments. He said, no, I don't want you to go, but you need to decide that for you. But somehow Eliza hears it that Rodney's not fighting for her, and she wants him to decide for her. Okay, I'm taking off my wig for this, and I need to comment as a man. Hell, it's 2022. Do women really want men to act like this? Personally, I thought Rodney handled himself well. This is what a secure man does. I don't see any issue with what he said, but then he was somehow made to feel bad. Dr. Diane and I agree on this. And you know, she would tell you that this is based upon the receiver's love style. Because if you have an anxious attachment style, you would feel like your partner isn't defending you. But not all women are the same. Imagine Rodney did say, hell no, Eliza, don't go. Wouldn't other women think that is toxic masculinity? Honestly, no one men are confused. But what do you think? Are you Team Eliza or Team Rodney? Leave your response in the comments. Dr. Diane will get back to you. The follow-up in this story, Eliza goes on the date with Justin and has a nice time, then comes back and blames Rodney again. Like, really? What can he do now, except try to make it up to her? There seems to be a bigger theme happening because Kate has the same complaint about Logan. She gets pulled by Hayden, and Logan says the same. I don't want you to go, but you should have the Bachelor in Paradise experience. But Kate thinks that Logan is also not fighting enough for her either. And which of the men are doing enough? Maybe Brandon with Serene? What's probably more likely is a remnant from the real-world dating that women are not feeling special enough. But what's the solution for Eliza? What would have been ideal is for Eliza to own her part. She could have said to Rodney, I'm so enjoyed getting to know you, and I hope nothing changes, but I'm flattered and I'm curious about Justin. You've got to test your relationship with Lace, so with me, and that I need to do the same for myself. The best thing would be if Eliza was clean. She didn't put it on Rodney. And if you're already made up your mind, stick with it. Second story about Genevieve and Aaron. We can't forget how stressed out Genevieve was about Aaron, and just when we thought they were in a good place, we see more drama. And on social media, it looks like people are split. Half are in the Genevieve camp, and the other half for Aaron. Dr. Diane likes to see both sides. What about Aaron? What do you think is going on with him? Because things change quickly when Justin comes back on the beach. Is Aaron intimidated by Justin? And Genevieve does act as if it was Justin who messed up. Not that she has strong feelings for Aaron. But Genevieve doesn't have to get the details straight. Who cares? What she missed is that she has an opportunity to make Aaron feel good, and she didn't. She could have said, who cares about Justin, sweetie? You are my only love. Now the next scene is that Genevieve has something she wants to tell Aaron, that she's falling in love with him. But Aaron doesn't know this, and sure it makes sense that Genevieve feels vulnerable, but was she clear? We see her saying, Aaron, hey, what's up? But how hard did she try? And if you are in love with somebody, the first time you miscommunicate and they are busy, you threaten to leave? Let's talk about Aaron now. What might be happening with him? Is he entitled to need some time to himself? If he worries that he's there for Genevieve, but the only reason was Justin messed up, this has got to be mess with his head. As a man, I can't defend Aaron. He raised his voice and he shouldn't have. Does he realize how loud and harsh he was? If I could take Aaron aside, I would say, Genevieve is not only really telling you what to do, and it's not lost on me that Aaron has not had much success on the beach. Either he did have more of a bromance with James. Is he serious? And we can't forget that Genevieve didn't handle things well with Justin either. Remember when he went on a date with Victoria? She was outraged. But then when she went on a double date with Aaron, she came back pretty full of herself and was more angry with Justin. Who can forget that? So maybe if only we saw the fight between Aaron and Genevieve without that context, it might look like Aaron was being too harsh on Genevieve. But context does matter. And some of these things Aaron said were correct, that she gets upset easily. As a couple, I fear that Aaron and Genevieve are too much alike. They felt like they got each other when they both said, I like verbal praise and physical affection, but under stress, who is the anchor? And maybe they have their great passion, they alluded to having great sex, but can they negotiate all these threats? But if you are Eliza and Victoria F., please don't think that this interaction is a couple's goal. Yikes, 2 wrongs do not make a right. Because it was wrong of Genevieve to threaten to leave, and it was wrong of Aaron to raise his voice. And it's not going to end well. And sharing that they were both falling in love isn't enough to save this. What could have been a wonderful expression of feelings felt more like a justification for some poor communication. Well, I love you, that's why I'm acting like this. Okay, me too. And can we all understand the correct use of the term gaslighting? It wasn't applicable in this case. I will let my wife explain more on that one when she returns. But while there was a lot of projection going on here, there was not gaslighting. So how might a more mature couple have handled this miscommunication? First, they could have used some lessons in deep breathing from Jacob. And once they were calm, they could choose to be curious, not furious. Don't forget that phrase. Genevieve could have said to Aaron, I've tried to pull you a few times. Can I get some time with you? Aaron could have said, Genevieve, can you understand that Justin just came back and has made me feel a certain way? Can I process this with you? And both could have avoided the feelings of abandonment that led to the threat of leaving and the frightened response from Aaron's anger. Time for the reality check. Look in the mirror. What lessons can we learn from this week? From Eliza, we learn own your stuff. Don't put your decisions on someone else. And from Genevieve and Aaron, we learned that being curious, not furious, would have gone a long ways. Write that one down. Use it when you need it again. How can I be curious, not furious with my partner? Stay tuned for next week. You might get to see me again. Let me know if I'm getting a rose from you or I'm getting kicked off the beach.